And welcome to the still life demonstration part 1. We're going to go ahead and get started today with just setting up our still life and starting the drawing portion of our still life. And then we'll go into painting and color mixing and all that stuff a little later. So first things first is to get your still life object all situated, or objects I should say. I chose 4 objects for this still life. You can choose as few or as many as you want, as long as it's more than one. Otherwise, that's just a painting of an object. And a still life is a setup of more than one objects kind of arranged together to make a composition. So these objects are just kind of interesting shapes that I liked that were around my house. So I have a vessel, a lamp here, a little seedling water vessel here, a vase right here, and a buffalo skin drum. I really like the line pattern, the zigzag line right on the side. I wanted to include that. And I just arranged it however I wanted to. I played with placement and stuff, making sure that the smaller objects are in the front. And then I also used this white sheet just kind of to help me not be distracted by the colorful table I have underneath it. You can also play with the sheet if you choose to lay a sheet on your table first. You can cover like some things with the sheet to give it that really cool draped look. If you would like choose to just include some draped cloth in your still life, that's something that's also really nice too. Or you can choose to kind of scrunch it up around the edges so that, actually I like that. I think I'm going to do that, but just make sure that this vase is showing. That way I can include some of that really cool line work that the crumpled up material makes. I like it now. Awesome. I'm glad I did that. Okay. So now we're going to start out with our material check. We have our pencil and eraser. In the sake of this demonstration, I'm using a dark marker though, but you use a pencil and eraser just so you can make really light pencil marks when you draw and erase as needed. And then you need your piece of paper, the 12 by 18 size. I'm using a canvas. Go a little bigger if you want, but at least that big, just so you can go big with this. It's a little easier to do for sure. And then you'll want your still life objects arranged on a table somewhere. It could be your kitchen table, counter, desk, bed, wherever you're working today. That's totally fine. And once you have all of the materials in place, then you're ready to get started drawing your still life. So you want to take into account the tallest thing in your still life first. And that is, in my still life, this drum right here. It's the tip of the handle on the drum. And so I'm going to draw the line, reference line at the top of my page, which I already drew right here, of the tip of the drum, where I believe it is. And then I'm going to find the bottom of the drum and reference line it kind of right down here. And keeping in mind that my table and the sheet is going to be all at the bottom as well. And so now I have some reference lines to measure from. And I'm just going to pause this really quick. I'm back. I just had to get a drink of water. Okay, so some things to keep in mind while you're sketching out your still life is the general shape of items and the distance between the items and really the size of all the items. And we have a really wonderful tool with us at all times. As sketch artists, we have our pencil. And this is a measurement tool that we can use all the time. It's really, really helpful. And how you use this as a measurement tool is by closing one eye, and you're going to wink at yourself, and then you're going to hold your pencil straight out in front of you. So everybody practice right now. Hold your pencil straight out in front of you and close one eye, and then just practice moving your thumb up and down that pencil. And that is, your thumb is really your measurement tool. So if I were to measure the drum behind me, I'm going to move my arm so it kind of looks like right there. I'm going to use my pencil as a measurement tool and go from the top of the drum, not including the handle, to where the sheet comes to. And I'm going to notice that that takes up like my whole pencil. So I don't even have to close one eye, but I can. And that's one pencil length. So I know that that is, one pencil length. And what I can also do is measure the distance between the drum and that kind of really cool vase right there. And I'm holding it so that it's in between the drum and the vase, and I notice that it's about that far apart. So I can, once I draw my drum, I can make it about an inch away from itself. And then once everything gets on the page, it will be in relation to itself, just how I need it to look. All right, so now we're going to start out with making the general shape of some things too. First things first, the drum. We have the basic marks at the top and the bottom of the page for the drum, and the drum is, from my angle, I see the oval in the back, and I also see kind of the long rectangular side right here with all the different line patterns. And so I'm going to start out with that side, and I'm going to just go ahead and draw a curved line here, curved line there, and I have the top of my drum. And remember, this is a sketch, so make different sketch lines as needed. And I can come back and erase all those work lines that I don't need later. And then I'm going to go ahead and make that oval shape that I see, which is just a continuation of this line. That goes down a bit. Okay, and there is the general shape of my drum to begin with. And I'll come back and refine it a little later as well. Now I'm going to move to the next shape in my still life, which is this little seedling water vase thing. And it's quite low in the drawing. So I can tell that it comes up, just barely here, and it's overlapping with my drum, which is a really good thing to keep in mind too. You can overlap your objects to make it more interesting. If they're all spaced out, it's not going to flow as much. So overlap your objects so that you can kind of draw one thing in front of the other, and it just makes the composition a little more interesting. All right, so we have the top of our vase right here, and then the bottom of it right around where the drum is, because remember, that's like where our material and table start. So I have those as reference points, and then I see a general shape of an oval at the bottom. I'm going to go ahead and draw that. And then I have a general shape just of like some curved lines right here. And I can go back and refine that a little later, but I have the general shape of that vase right there. And then behind that, well, from my angle, it looks different from your angle, of course. So in front of that little vase is this cool little white lamp right here, this old-fashioned looking lamp. So I'm going to go ahead and draw that. That's definitely overlapping the drum back here, this drum. So I'm going to go ahead and bring that up about to here. And we have that circle shape that I see, which is this right here. And then my reference line at the top. And then I just have some curved lines right here to represent where the vase curves in with itself. And then I have kind of a rectangle shape here. And then the stem. And I have the general shape of my lamp so far. We're getting some stuff on the page. Pretty exciting, eh? And then we have this cool Colwood vase. And that is from my angle, it's behind this white lamp as well. So it's kind of, I'm closing one eye and I'm measuring how far it's coming up from the top of that vase, and it's about this far. So I know to just put it on my, measure on my canvas, that same distance up, and I can make my reference line to the top of my vase right there. So I have the top of the line, and then this shape of the vase is a kind of a simple curved in shape all the way down. So I'm just going to curve it in right there. I don't see it behind this white vase, but if I choose, I can draw that line through my vase and then just come back and erase it later so that I have a consistent line. I like to do that sometimes. Otherwise, I'm kind of like, the line stops right there and it kind of comes out right here and it might look a little off. So I'll just continue that line. And then I'm going to do the same on the other side. Curve it down. And then that's kind of covered up by sheet. So it's about right there. So I have my objects down on my still life. And from my angle, it's kind of squished it in. So I have some more space right here. Maybe I want to leave that space empty. I do. Actually, I just decided in my mind. But if you want, you're like, oh, I could add a couple more objects in my still life. That's fine. You have artist right to do that. You can change things up as you are working too. So that's a good thing. So we have our original or our initial sketch of our still life, and I'm going to leave it at that for today's demonstration. We'll pick up with part 2 next week. So have fun. Do a couple practice sketches in your sketchbook if you'd like, just to kind of get the measuring idea down. And if you have any questions, let me know. Look up more demonstrations on YouTube if you choose. For more ideas and inspiration, there's a lot out there. There's not just me. You guys have a ton of resources at your fingertips. So have fun, good luck, and I can't wait to see you again. Adios.